Tonight, Claven totally understands women.
I'm sorry she's so angry, and she's probably on having her period.
Steve had a bad night out,
I didn't want to set her on fire.
and I had to explain it to the police.
She said no to and so the only option was to set her on fire. Why, hello, my fellow apes.
And welcome back to Low Fruit, where if Steve leads slightly to the side, the sun goes in his eyes.
No, look at this song. It's unbelievable.
And I can't say words properly, apparently.
I bet they love the chewing of apple.
Yep, we're off to a fantastic, high-quality
High
start.
quality,
We've got
guys, high quality.
light coming in, right onto your face.
this? What is that?
I can't say simple words and you're chewing food.
Yeah, I know, I should have done this off
So
air.
it's all suitable, though, because we're watching an equally high-quality production from...
Alvin. Is it Alvin? You know the one guy in the Daily Wire that no one cares about or knows?
Yeah, that's why I'm struggling with the name. Claven?
Claven.
Claven.
Yep, and what's it titled? Atheists. These atheists are too smart for their own good.
We're really smart.
Claven reacts.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
This is going to be...
Away with you.
So I don't know if you were watching the Super Bowl, you might have caught that ad about Jesus He Gets Us, where they showed people washing the feet of abortionists and gay married people and all that stuff. So we thought that was so moving that I'm a Christian, so what I'm going to do is mock atheists.
Okay, bit of context for what they're looking at. It's possible that you already know what it is, but just in case. Advert was dropped at the Super Bowl, and this one was essentially calling out the hypocrisy of Christians. And what it was saying is that Jesus was about compassion, about caring, and thus what that means is actually caring for people that you don't agree with, people that, you know, might threaten your intuitions or even threaten your way of life. Show love, turn the other cheek. And so what you saw was Christians in this advert showing love and washing the feet of people that they disagree with. So there's one outside of an abortion clinic. There's one where someone's been had a gay marriage. You get the idea. And this has triggered the hell out of evangelicals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! They're like, no, you don't understand. Real Christianity is not about compassion. It's about machine guns. It's about machine guns and fighting communism. That's what it is. So that's the context for you.
Let's see what else he has to say. Apparently he's going to be mocking atheists. We'll, we like mockery on this channel, so we'll see how he does.
Do we now?
This is brought to you by Genucel. You want to order right now at genucel.com/Cleve.
Oh, you know what, mate? I actually haven't plugged this, and I really should.
Okay.
This is sponsored by Debunked. This is a special edition that you can't get hold of, so I don't know why I got that one.
Bring up the other one. He's got the other one down there.
Got the other one somewhere.
Professional production.
Professional. I got this one.
Yeah.
One day. Here we go. This is Debunked. You can purchase it with the link below. I just decided I'm plugging this now. That's what.
And, well, no, because what's important here is, unlike Claven, we actually use the product we're advertising.
Do you think he uses, that?
I...
What? I mean, what is that? That is...
Do you mean his face or the advert?
Both, my friend.
Okay.
Both, my friend. What are they?
That's Claven YT. My listeners will also get a free beauty box, a deep firming serum, and free shipping on all orders while supplies last. All right, so we're going to watch. These are TikTok videos where people explain why they're stupid enough to think the universe just came out of nowhere without the action of God.
We're off to a great start. The universe came out of nowhere.
I love these people. He's like, how stupid they are, and then says utter stupidity.
Yes,
like you couldn't make it up. I love that the Daily Wire treats this as solid content. They're like, this is
40 seconds in, straight with the straw man. Yeah, remembering 20 seconds of that 40 seconds was an ad for skincare products.
That's very, very true.
So 20 seconds of content straight to the straw man and insult.
While criticising their attitudes and imbuing the very attributes that he says that he dislikes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Well done.
I don't know how they found these people. It's very hard to get an IQ that low, but we'll take a look.
It's not a great start for how you look when you sit there and go, we're going to look at people and look at their IQ.
I've got so much to say, but I keep eating the apple. Really bad idea. So,
don't get me wrong. We've said about Ray Comfort, but all I said about Ray Comfort on the last one was I called him the Banana Man, and that's because he's known for the banana.
That's just fair. I see no issues.
Atheists aren't known for low IQ.
No, they're actually known for having more intelligence and more education.
The correlation is the more
That's-
educated you are, the more likely you are to
That
be
is
an
just a
atheist.
fact. It's not a fact that you would expect on theism, by the way. I mean, what's going on? Does God hate smart people? Is that what's happening?
Remember, we're not saying causation, but there is correlation.
There is correlation, and I would go so far as to say causation. But it makes sense, though, doesn't it, really? I mean, if you do research, you learn more about the world, and it starts challenging your intuitions. So
Yeah.
the more you learn, the more you can't lean on your intuitions, the less the best arguments for God's existence are.
What's the effect when you sort of start to realise how little you know, the less confident you sort of become?
Yeah.
What is it? Someone in the comments is going to laugh at me for not being able to. There's something effect. Like, you're really confident when you don't know anything. Your confidence goes down as you start to learn shit, and then your confidence goes up again a little bit as you realise, as you become more educated in the thing.
I don't know what the effect is.
We're useless. This is our high IQ.
We're low IQ.
Yeah.
Respect for every single religion, except for atheists.
Atheism is not a religion. There's no moral code, no ritual traditions, and it doesn't require faith. The Big Bang did happen, cosmic inflation is a thing. You'd be hard-pressed to find a natural phenomenon that science can't explain. Also, don't be so quick to say that you have respect for every single religion, because that would also mean that you have respect for the religion known as the Followers of Christ Church, a group that routinely denies medical care to their sick and dying children, choosing instead to pray to their God for their recovery.
So far, seems like a perfectly fair response from this guy.
He also, I don't know if you get this, I'm getting a Drew feel here. It's kind of a genetically modified skeptic. That's soft-spoken, cool dude. You're not getting that? Look at him. He looks like he uses a skateboard.
Their church's graveyard is littered with the headstones of children ranging from 1 day to 1 week old. So are you ready to sit there and tell me that you respect them too?
No, I don't respect every religion. In fact, I respect very few religions in general. But obviously what this guy was replying to was someone who said, respect every religion.
It's one of those generic terms that a lot of people will say, but they don't actually do. They will say, I respect all religions, and then you can just come up with an instance. You go, do you actually?
And what he's
really?
just done is highlight one which he probably shouldn't be.
Which is perfectly fine. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that Klavan is going to agree, because I think anyone that thinks about it would.
Yeah.
You know.
So let's see precisely what he has to say.
No, absolutely not. I only respect one religion, the right one, the good one, the one that's true.
How have you determined yours is the right one?
I don't know. He was born in the right country.
That's how you know.
That's how you know.
That's how you
Because
know.
religion is so wonderful in the sense that it highly correlates with geography, and yet they're all so confident that they fell out of
So,
the vagina in the right land, Reece.
what you're
That's how
saying-
this works.
What you're saying is they're all the right one, depending on where you're from.
I'm saying that I respect all religions, man. They're all correct. That's what I'm saying.
What about Clavens?
No.
I only respect one religion, the right one, the good one, the one that's true.
And of course, we are back to the fantastic style of editing that.
This is, the lovely style that we saw with Knowles.
Yeah.
And it is pretty damn incredible. I've got to say, I'm sorry, but it always amazes me that these people paint themselves as virtuous, good people. And, like, they say that other people have low IQ, and yet they just say such utter crap, such as, I only respect my one. And you know he's not joking as well. Like, it's not
No, he's not. He's honest there. But he's not going to elaborate really how it's the right one.
Yeah,
Sure.
his audience doesn't need them to do that. That's not how the audience works.
The idea, when you say there is a Big Bang, by the way, an idea that was first come up with by a priest, because the other stories of creation were not in keeping with what he thought Genesis said. So
That's
not true. The bit that is come up with by a priest is true.
Correct.
Which we don't discount.
George Lemaitre.
Lemaitre?
Yeah, Lemaitre. Yeah.
The fact that someone of any faith came up with a scientific principle does not discount the principle or the thought or the hypothesis or the theory. It doesn't. I don't really care about your background in that sense, as long as what you come up with is sound.
Well,
as far as I'm aware, he was actually a scientist.
He was a scientist.
Right. So it wasn't about, I think Genesis actually says this,
No.
therefore the Big Bang.
No, he just looked at Einstein's findings and he went, you know what, I actually think that this is telling us something that Einstein is uncomfortable with, and that is that our local space-time probably had a beginning.
Right.
And then we got to Hubble and the telescope, and we got
So-
to things like that.
Rather than trying to cram science to fit his faith, he made his faith fit his science.
Yes.
Right.
Which is what
Interesting.
Galileo did.
Which is what most successful scientists have done.
That's what the successful ones do. Also, upon this rhetoric of, him being a Christian, the same is true of Charles Darwin. He was raised in a Christian country, and he was a Christian, and he would have been a Christian before he had figured out evolution. And it's possible that he certainly for a long time remained a Christian.
Yep.
If not just for public need, because of people like Clavin.
And then you've got how much work came out of the Arab world as well.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Loads of stuff
what
out
is
there.
it? Algebra's awesome, therefore Islam's true.
No, he's not going to be making that argument.
No, that's not the right religion.
So he postulated that there was a Big Bang, and that turned out to be the one that most scientists now accept. But the thing that the Big Bang doesn't explain is where the stuff that went bang came from.
No, you
That's right, it's not meant to.
Yeah, I know.
What it says is everything expanded from an early point.
He's like, got ya. That's the meme. Got ya. That's
Everything,
what it is.
Yeah. Here's my idea. Everything
you're a moron.
Everything that we can see today came from an early point. Ah, but you didn't say where you got that early point from. No.
But it's worse than that. Because you didn't say where everything came from. It never said that, Clavin.
No,
Stop it.
it's not actually designed to do that.
It's amazing being part of these religious circles, You can just keep lying. Because your audience will never look it up. And they will boast that they're the ones with high IQ.
Technically, he didn't lie. He said it hasn't explained this thing. It doesn't matter that it's
I
not
see.
meant to explain that thing.
Christianity hasn't explained why I didn't get money from the Tooth Fairy.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
true.
a huge flaw.
And
with
the implication is...
Christianity hasn't explained why all my hair fell out of my head.
That's very true.
That's
and
another big
devastating.
flaw.
Yeah, you're right.
And I didn't get to send bears after anyone.
Where did that come from? And how come it all worked out so well for the production of life?
What?
What worked out well for the production of life? Because
Goodness.
if you look at the universe in total, we're not even like a fraction of a percentage, of the Earth that is. Even within the solar system, we're a tiny part of it. And then on this planet, life itself, yes, can inhabit a good portion of the planet. But when you talk about like the microscopic organisms, yes, they can survive and thrive fucking anywhere.
in our eyes.
But when you're talking more life in the realm of, I don't know, mammals, the parts of the planet that we can survive on are significantly smaller.
Yeah. It's amazing because another way of phrasing this is that in our galaxy there's 200 billion stars. This is not a number that you can conceive of. This is absolutely insane. And yet we know in the observable universe there's at least 400 billion galaxies. I mean, how many times are the dice being rolled? And what does the outcome look like? Like, does this look like it was created by an all-powerful, all-loving God? He's like, it turned out so well. What? Mass extinctions, Clavin. Completely wiping out sentient creatures many times over in the most, inhumane, immoral, disgusting ways possible. I'm just jealous. I'm jealous of happy. I want his mindset. Life must be so easy.
It's like
Unbelievable.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
That this room was designed for this hair.
It fits in here perfectly.
It fits in here perfectly.
It's not eroding.
It thrives so amazingly in this now air conditioned room.
Unbelievable.
This room was designed for this. Oh, I've dropped.
Oh shit.
Never mind.
Oh, we'll re-record from the beginning.
How come Jesus exists? I've got you there, my friend.
Do we have evidence that he actually existed? Because I'm not a mythicist. I believe that a man called Jesus most likely did exist.
Yep.
And he was most likely an apocalyptic preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, when you say, oh, how come Jesus exists? It's like, yeah, what part? Because you can't actually demonstrate any of it.
Yeah. No, when it comes to... The thing is that Jesus is how well can you actually say? To what degree can you say that Jesus exists?
There's an empty tomb.
No, don't start this crap. But just as a person, not Christ, right? You've got this situation where you can say, you know what, like, you know, compare him to Julius Caesar, compare him to Hannibal Barca, right? Compare him to other historical characters. What's the likelihood of that? Of, you know, do we have enough accounts to say that this person exists?
Yeah.
The problem is that eternal life isn't predicated on believing this crap, let alone all of the other things that Jesus is said to have done. That you have to believe that he actually did these miracles. And I don't know, maybe I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, as we said not last time, but one of our videos prior, the claims made about these historical figures tend to be of the extent of they fought in this war here, they took over this country here, they ruled this there, you know, that sort of thing. All stuff that is possible. Mm-hmm. But the claims about Jesus are definitionally impossible. That's why they're miracles.
That's why they're miracles.
And our proof for this, or our evidence rather, that this happened, comes like 100 years after he supposedly died.
Oh yeah, like way after, like from authors that are obviously copying from each other, authors that are contradicting each other. We've only got, in some cases, translations of translations.
They don't like it when you say that.
No, we're the ones.
But the reality is the earliest New Testament texts that we have, as far as I'm aware, they're in Greek, which means they're very likely to be translations of an earlier thing. If it was, because it would have been Aramaic.
It would have been in the Israelite.
So we've very likely just got something that is a translation of something else.
Yeah, we know we do.
And then
things.
That's been copied. Yes, okay, we have got the originals and we can refer back to
No, some of them we don't.
Some of them we don't, yeah. But what I'm saying is the earlier parts, or the earliest ones we've got, have been copied.
We don't have the originals.
No, not originals, early copies.
Some of them we don't even have early copies, dude. Like, it's that bad. Like, there's certain parts of the Bible.
I'm trying to say
yeah, I know. But like, you know, you carry on.
I'm trying to give the best scenario for them, and you're like, no, don't give them the good stuff.
Please stop interrupting me. Get it out already.
Essentially, even in the best case, we have early copies that are translations, right? And then we have translations into, say, Latin and then English. We don't have originals, so we have nothing to say when precisely they were written.
Amen.
Now you can go.
Ready?
Okay. You don't want to go now. You just wanted to interrupt me.
So I did like the supercilious tone, though. You only get that from atheists. You know, Christians tend to be humble. They sort of understand that they're sinners, they're broken. You know, the real, true Christians, they tend to be, you know, understand that we're all sort of in this kind of soup that...
And, well, then you can't be a true Christian.
He's not a true Christian. He's just...
If you've just said that Christians tend to be kind and humble and all these things, and then you've started your video with insulting people... You've demonstrated that you don't fit your own category of what a true Christian is.
Do you think he knows what he's doing there? Or do you think like it actually goes over his head when he
what
sits
you're
there
asking me is he stupid or malicious?
Yep.
Always go with stupid.
But the thing is, I mean, like, look, leftist tears on one side. So
oh my god, I didn't even look at his mugs. Let's have a look at his background here. We've got the leftist tears. Great start.
And then
I'm surprised he's got a globe in the background.
Yeah, he doesn't use it.
He does have a great big American flag, both in the background and on his laptop with his own... Has he put his own face on the American flag on the laptop?
That's very humble. Very humble. Putting his own face on his laptop, you know. He's said that of people that they've got low IQ, he said it's really easy to prove the religion that I believe in, and then just moved on. And then he talks about how Christians are humble, and he shows like these, you know, children on the back of a car. They must know what they're doing. He must sign this off.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that he's put his own face on an American flag on his own laptop.
Okay, next time we're going to get a sticker of you. We're going to get a sticker of you, and we're going to put it on a cup. Our first merchandise for everybody, for all 11 viewers. We've got a few more viewers.
Yeah, we did get a few.
We've got a few more viewers, which are pretty damn good. And yeah, good stuff.
No, I'm gonna get myself a T-shirt with this face on it.
What the The best thing about that is that you can't misspell a face.
Jesus gets us out of. But the atheists, they have that smugness, that superciliousness that just makes you want to take.
You can't talk about atheists being smug while you're here doing this. I mean, we can be smug. Don't get me wrong. But...
I can't be smug. I've never been smug in my life. I have, you know. Unbelievable.
Makes you want to take their nose and twist it around. So that is an advantage that atheists have. If you want your nose twisted around.
Yours has already been twisted around.
Oh, good.
We'd have to twist it to make it straight again.
The projection with these people, man.
Mocking other people for twisting nose as well as fucking bent all over the place.
All right, let's hear another.
Here are 3 logical reasons why not believing in God, aka Sky Daddy, is actually beneficial. Number 1, that God only exists inside of your mind.
So just before we get into his response is, obviously this is a very provocative video in the same way that Claven's is. He started off with, oh, Sky Daddy. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it for the memes, but you're going to get the same sort of responses back.
But the thing is that, so Christians will get upset if you call it Sky Daddy. Mm-hmm. Tell me how it's not a Sky Daddy.
A Space Daddy.
Okay, tell me, I mean, like, a Space Daddy.
Immaterial
Hang on, they're always
galactic-
going, listen, sky doesn't necessarily mean sky. It can actually mean, you know, cosmos. Like, in interpretation, man, you need to be sophisticated. And yet when the atheist says Sky Daddy, they just take us at our literal word. We don't mean
Yeah,
it
that's
like
true.
that. Daddy doesn't necessarily mean biological dependency. It can actually mean something far more abstract, something far more metaphorical.
Truer than true.
It's truer than true, Reese.
Well, let's very quickly tackle is number one thing here then, that God only exists inside your mind. Not obviously how I would probably go about phrasing it, however, fundamentally, yeah, because you can't demonstrate otherwise.
But the problem is that this guy is just making that claim, and it's like, well, to the theist, that's not the case. He's actually a real thing, and so.
But as we've argued, is there are as many Christian gods as there are Christians.
I would agree with
which
that,
would, and they obviously describe it as a personal relationship. So it does tend to outside perspective, it certainly seems to just be something that you believe is real, and that's all you've got.
I mean, but the other thing is that where he's saying this God exists only in your mind, concepts don't exist in your mind, right?
Well, my bigger thing would be is he's now making a claim that your God specifically does not actually exist.
He's making a big
which
claim.
is
yeah. And I get it. I get why a Christian would just look at this and sigh, right? But what response do we get from Claven? Is there any kind of...
Let's see. It's going to be high IQ, obviously.
It's going to be high IQ.
And is a reflection of how you see yourself. So how judgmental you perceive this God to be is how judgmental you are.
Should have let him land. He's correct.
That's
fair.
Well, that actually covers what I said about there are as many Christian gods as there are Christians.
That's absolutely fair, because that's true. If you meet... It's amazing. If you meet, say, Claven, who's probably homophobic, and then you meet some other liberal Christian, which is, you know, like, no, you know, the Pope and whatnot, like, we are okay. You know, it's God made some people gay.
Yep.
It's always amazing that God agrees with them. Agrees with their intuitions, agrees with their positions. It's never, actually, I am homophobic, but I had to change my view because God is all loving. Never happens. It's not the way it works.
No.
It's always the other way around.
Or I did love everyone and God said no, stone the gay people, so that's what I did.
And that's the thing. Then they go to the Bible and they go, look at all of these verses that say about stoning homosexuals.
Do you know what? Metaphor.
I'm like, you were perfectly fine with metaphor when it came to slavery. Actually, like, you know, all over the Bible, endorsements of slavery, they go, you are reading that wrong. And then, like, they go to these verses, which there's less of them, so they can bash gays, and they go, that's true, that's true.
Or they say, oh, well, the culture and times were different back then. So they needed God's objective word.
Moral relativity, yeah. Love it.
Right, so, yeah, we're now much more fully onto this guy's side.
Yeah.
And is a reflection of how you see yourself. So how judgmental you perceive this God to be is how judgmental you are. Which leads us to number 2, that it reinforces...
He's not going to say anything. He's not going to... Oh.
Mate, he's just twisted his nose, which now means it's the right way round, and he's just going to leave it.
Oh, it looks like this guy landed a point successfully.
Good game, buddy. Well played.
Versus believing that thoughts are the truth, which is literally the experience of hell. Your thoughts about yourself, about reality, are always f***ed. They're never, ever, ever the truth. And number 3,
So if I'm to steelman that guy's position, is essentially don't rely on you intuitions for determining what is reality, because they're often faulty.
Yep, if you want to go for that,
That
angle,
would
that's
probably
fair.
be what my interpretation of what you said there. I'm being charitable. You got anything different?
Play it again.
your thoughts about yourself, about reality, are always f***ed. They're never, ever, ever the truth. And number 3,
Yeah, this I think I understand what he's trying to convey, but he's conveyed it wrong, right? Because the way that he put it is that if you're thinking of something, then that's not a way to truth. It actually guarantees that you're wrong. But thinking is our only way of actually navigating any space.
Which is why I was trying to go down the route
Yeah.
of he's saying that your initial sort of intuitions about a thing aren't true.
True, but like
That's what I would interpret.
I think if you want to be maximally charitable, you can do that. I probably wouldn't extend that charity because he's not being very charitable himself.
So you're saying that when you think about something, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's just
Which,
lunacy.
if that's his angle, that's a fucking stupid thing to say.
Yep.
So let's see how Claven deals with this.
if you get triggered when someone says Sky Daddy
Oh, he just moves on.
doesn't exist, you're pretty f***ing fragile. And it's funny because if it is an all-powerful, all-knowing being, why the f*** does he need you to defend him?
Now, that last one, I am 100% on board with.
Yes, but Christian's surely just going to tell you, yeah, we don't need to defend him. Like,
What are apologists doing?
yeah, they're defending the faith, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't defending God. Rather, they're defending the faith because they're trying to save your soul.
They're defending the concept of God.
Yeah, but like they don't see it that way, dude. Okay, put it this way: could you have an all-powerful agent that, for whatever reason, decides not to reveal itself to you
You could.
because it's all-powerful? There's nothing that can affect it.
But what about
Consequently, it doesn't need defending.
But what about one that wants a personal relationship with you?
What you're defending isn't God. You're defending. This is the way that they.
That's what I said, the concept of.
Yeah, it's not even the concept. It's you're defending against the arguments that are put across. Because the argument's going to go, if there's an all-powerful God, he can communicate with me. If he's all-loving, then he'd do so. And therefore, we can conclude that this God doesn't exist. And what the Christian or the apologist is going to do is step in to try and give you a defence. They're going to give you reasons for why that doesn't quite get you the receipt that you think it does. And that's what they're going to be doing. Whether or not that counts as them defending God per se, I don't think they see it that way. But
I certainly would.
yeah, fair enough.
And if you were to say, "Oh, Sky Daddy doesn't exist," and they get up in arms about it, that is then getting defensive over that language.
But I don't think they're defending God. They're trying to defend their own credibility.
Yeah,
Because it's like when you mock their religion.
I don't
in
tend
that
to
way,
use Sky Daddy, but yes.
Yeah, but you're essentially saying you're an idiot. Like you believe in something that's just completely absurd. And so when you say it like that, there's going to be a situation where they're not going to be all that happy about it. But are they defending God themselves?
How about both?
How about both?
Both.
I love the certainty, people with faith, they have faith because they know that they don't know, but they have become convinced and they take the little leap of faith to the
People with faith don't know anything, but they do jump and then they leap and then they're faith. What are you saying?
What did he say just a couple of minutes ago? He's like, do you respect all religions? No, I only respect the one that's true and it's mine. And then he's going, people have faith, they're humble, they're all chill. Like, they don't... Come on.
Well, this is what he said there. He said, there are people that have faith, don't have evidence, but they take the jump needed to get to faith. Yeah, we know. That's kind of what people are saying is a really shitty idea to get to truth, having faith in it.
He doesn't like it when people do it to other religions.
No. You wouldn't take anything on faith for a different religion, so why'd you take it on faith for Christianity?
past the axiomatic truths that lead them to God. But the first argument, nobody believes in a Sky Daddy. That's not a real thing. Those are pictures that people had to represent the thoughts.
It's a joke terminology.
It's
just...
No, he's actually wrong. So if you read
Once Upon a Time, per se, they did think.
They really did, yeah, absolutely. Like, you can read up on, for instance, Francesca Stavropoulou. I've got a book down there. That covers how these people actually conceived of their God, which is the God of Christianity, because it's the God of Israel, of the Israelites, and it is something that's corporeal. God actually has a body. So they went all whimsical and changed it.
You can't have us made in God's image if he's not corporeal, really, can you?
I know, unless you use a metaphor.
of people. That's A. But B, the idea that God is anything like me is so far from the truth of my experience that it's just, you can't make that argument.
So you make the argument, we're made in God's image, therefore he must be like you.
Yep, you've got that. And how many of your views, Claven, does God agree with?
Yes, if you align your views with God, and then another Christian aligns their views with God, and you both get conflicting views.
Yep.
What's doing the heavy lifting on determining those views? Is it you, or is it God? Is God giving people conflicting views? Probably not.
Probably not. Not when salvation is dependent, right? That seems very unlikely of a God.
What's
to be doing
more
this.
likely is both of you are implanting your view of the world onto what you call God.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, like, he lives in the USA. He has the views of the culture he was born into.
Yeah.
He has even the doctrines that he affirms are the same as the culture that he was brought up into. Mm-hmm. And God agrees with all of his moral intuitions on all of these different
It's amazing, isn't it? It's
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What luck to have got all of it correct.
God, if only everyone could be like Claven. Unbelievable.
He was fine-tuned to have all the answers.
Fine-tuned.
And the third thing is, if you can't be certain of what you're saying, of what you think, how does he know there is no God?
You forgot what the guy had said, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. he was close. He was close. He was close to getting it.
I rest my case.
Oh, that got me. Yeah. Frank, do you want me to put me? Yeah, all right. What?
Never mind.
I'm already guessing the tone from it.
One of them gets up and goes, here's all the evidence for evolution.
Yeah.
And here's like some stuff on Galileo. And then the other person gets up and just tickles their intuition in the right way. And they go, yeah, I'm with him. Which is what religion does. This is why they deny evolution and deny these things. He's used a clip that's like...
of explicitly taking the mickey out of people being stupid.
Either the editor, well done, whoever did that, like, well done, or you're ballsed up, bro.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm talking to these people. They're on TikTok. It's like, already, that's the end of the conversation.
You're not talking to those
them,
people.
dude.
It's like we're not talking to you. I mean, we're directing it at you, but we're not actually talking to you. We're actually talking to all of you lovely people, except for the ones that don't like us. We're not talking to
All
you.
11 of you. And that guy that keeps commenting, he's so upset. He's so devastated. Oh, we love you too, by the way. Just enjoy. Grab an apple, grab an orange, enjoy the show.
Whether you have 3 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes with Genucel, you can...
I tell you what,
no, we're gonna
we'll skip.
Don't skip it.
No, we're skipping his ad.
Okay.
You're advertising that.
Why don't
we'll
you
also-
advertise your new castles?
I have a new video because I finally produced one after nearly 2 years. Yeah, we're working on it.
2
We're
years,
working
2
on it.
years, yeah.
And we also have a Patreon.
Woo!
Which I worked really hard on. Have you noticed it's got a picture
Yeah,
and a banner?
yeah.
He committed genocide. He endorsed slavery. He's incredibly misogynistic. He views women as property. He curses children for the sins of their parents. He expects and demands to be worshipped and adored. He's xenophobic. He asked a guy to kill his own son to test his faith. He drowned the entire world in a flood because he regretted making human. He turned a woman to salt because she looked back at her home while it was burning to the ground. He killed his own kid. He's vindictive. He's cannibalistic. He's ableist. He is impatient. He's jealous. He gave women periods and then called them unclean for it.
Yeah. She is describing the God of the Bible.
I recognise her from YouTube. It's quite a fresh channel. Wonderful content.
Yeah.
Like, wonderful, to the point that we'll make sure her name's on screen. Do check it out. It'll be linked below as well.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely correct.
She's
All of those
literally
things
just
are absolutely true.
Listing the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was special.
He's bloodthirsty. He used to make people kill animals just so they could be forgiven. He punishes people for not believing in him. He created Satan. He used to make women marry men who assaulted them. The Crusades.
Yeah, and you can keep going, and I'm sure
You
she
can,
probably
yeah,
does
yeah.
in that video.
And yet, what, he just laughs as if like
Oh,
these are not like actual criticisms.
The high IQ content is coming.
It is,
Give
sorry.
a moment.
I have
Come on,
faith. I
I've
have faith.
I have paused early just so
Okay,
we can get
okay.
our commentary out. Now we've got to see what he says.
I hate that. I don't like that. He made life.
Because you've bleeped out most of what we said, we don't know most of your response. He made life
No, but like, okay, what he's doing is he's pointing out some of the positives he thinks. It doesn't negate.
Let's even run with he made life. Does that mean all those other things aren't monstrous?
No.
Because if you go with his logic,
Yeah.
parents can morally beat their children.
Yes.
And that's fine because they made them.
Yes, and women have to marry their rapists.
Yes.
But God did something. I don't understand these people.
Remember, she didn't say he didn't make life. Mm-hmm. She said why God is a monster, and then listed a bunch of reasons. Whether or not God made life doesn't change the fact that the described God of the Bible is a monster.
Sorry, but like, just to really have this point land, I'm going to bring up your guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because someone going, here's why Hitler was wrong. I've broken the rule, haven't I? Here's why we did advertise the Patreon, okay? Right. Here's why Hitler was a bad guy. X, Y, Z.
You're going to confuse people.
And then Claven,
you brought him up and I didn't.
I know. We might have to delete this whole scene. And then Claven goes, oh, well, he was a vegetarian.
He did have a dog.
I didn't claim that he wasn't a vegetarian. But when this rhetoric gets applied to religion,
yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's the atheists that are silly. It's the people that are criticising Hitler that's silly.
No, you're right. That does actually work across, doesn't it? Yeah. Why is Hitler a monster? Well, he did the Holocaust. He invaded all these countries. Millions of people died because of him. But he did build the autobahns.
The trains worked.
You just wouldn't use this logic, would you?
Life sucks because you have to live and do things and feel things and be existing. That stinks. And things aren't as good as I want them to be.
The problem you've got...
I want them to be.
Is the problem Craven's got is he's just played a video of her not saying that. So him attempting to strawman her argument after he's played the video isn't very useful because we've just got the list of reasons from her why God is a monster, and none of them were you have to live and do things.
So is this like Reese's tips? Tip for strawmanning. Don't show your audience what they actually say before you strawman.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
nice tip. Nice tip. I like that.
And I blame God. Or actually, I blame that woman. She's actually... You know, I do have to... Just a quick piece of theology. When she said that he made a...
It's the meme of Subway Surfers that people... Have you not seen some of the shorts where they have Subway Surfers underneath the video?
Yeah.
Because there's people with no attention span. But he's decided to do that in the middle of a response.
Shit,
while
I did
talking.
not know that, no.
Which means, because this wasn't the whole video like this really was just done as a distraction from what he's saying.
Yeah, he's just doing this to... Which is what we saw with Knowles.
Which suggests to me what we're about to hear
is going to be dog.
It's going to be profoundly stupid. No, sorry, high IQ.
High IQ.
He tested a guy's faith by making him sacrifice his kid, meaning the binding of Isaac by Abraham. He told Abraham, sacrifice your child, and then at the last minute, he told him, no, I'm going to replace your child with a ram, and you can sacrifice that instead. Everybody was sacrificing babies, and so he was teaching Abraham how to use symbolism to please God. And
everyone was killing things, so it's okay.
Yeah, and... Good.
Hang on. That sounds like moral relativism.
It does sound like moral relativism, doesn't it? So she brings up...
But, okay, so what he's saying here is you can sacrifice something else in place of Isaac.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, remember, one of her points was that he requires the sacrifices of animals.
Yeah.
Which, why?
Yeah.
Second of all, there's other sacrifices in that book where he didn't replace the human being.
There's a really good example, isn't there? And that is where... essentially what
I forget
happens.
the name.
Yeah.
But, he says, like, if you help me win this war, I'll offer you the first thing that comes out of my door as an offering.
Daughter.
And it's the daughter comes out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it goes through.
I don't really care what he does or doesn't do with Isaac.
Like, sacrifice
sacrifice of animals is bad.
The whole Jesus arc is sacrifice. Like, everything about it is sacrifice. She brings up all of these problems, and then he just proves a point.
The Abrahamic faiths are blood, death faiths. That's what they're all about. They're all about war, murder, and hatred of the foreigner, basically. That's what I would describe the Abrahamic faiths.
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that they will tell you otherwise. If you actually read the books, you get a very different reading. But
that's his trick.
what do you mean?
Don't read the book.
Don't read the book.
Yep.
Right. No, instead, read it with Subway Surfers underneath it.
Apparently so.
Ultimately, he taught us that we don't need to sacrifice. We don't need to sacrifice anything. So he's
Hang on, you just said he taught us that we don't need to sacrifice anything, but you also said that in the story he swapped the sacrifice for a ram, which means you did still need to sacrifice something. You've contradicted yourself in your sentence. Listen to yourself before you... I was going to say listen to yourself before you speak. Just don't speak. You got nothing to add, or are you just disappointed?
Nothing. Just this is so painful.
We'll have to... How many views does this have? It's a lot, isn't it?
46,000 views on this.
Oh, we'll do better than that. You fucking lot. You 11 subs.
Keep refreshing, all right?
Make sure you give us
But
better
every
than
time
that.
you refresh, make sure you get at least 25 minutes worth of watching time.
Watch the hour,
Yeah.
and then refresh and watch the hour again.
You got
Just
to
keep those numbers up. We got to do better than he does.
people who are a little slow to learn. It's not God who's slow to teach. All right, but, I'm sorry she's so angry, and she's probably on having her period.
Remember what we said about how some of these people denigrate others, and how the Christian God looks down on women for having their period?
She even brought up...
That's what she brought up, yes.
She brought up that, like, God basically hates women, which he does.
Yeah.
And, like, speaks of them as if they're scum.
Yeah.
And this is why, for most of Christian history, that is exactly how women have been treated, and that is as second-class citizens. And yet, he does this joke? Would we call it a joke?
The thing is I know he does look down
Oh,
on
can
women.
dismiss her. She disagrees with me. She's on a
'Cause
period.
I've seen a thing about how he married his wife for her looks and then found out years later she's actually intelligent. He said that.
I married my wife like most people marry their wife because she was hot, she was beautiful, she was fun, she was smart, she was all those things. For the first 10 years, I was thinking, well, of course, she has no capacity for reason.
That tells you everything you need to know about how this man views women.
What is intelligent to him, though?
Don't know. We haven't seen it in this video yet.
We haven't seen it in this video.
That's probably what's bothering her.
I just don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
The thing is you've put that scene in as a meme, but that is you,
Yeah.
isn't it? That is you, Craven. You don't believe anything that bleeds for a few days.
Yeah. He's got that classical biblical view, you know. So, I don't know how any Christian watching this can, like, say, well done, you did well there.
Well, he hasn't actually addressed anything yet.
It's just nothing. It's just performance.
You rotten guts.
If you say that there is no God, you have to have evidence for that.
Okay. If there really is a God that actually exists, then no one will ever see this video.
A joke. And they're going to take it seriously, aren't they?
Yeah, that's just... Okay. That's more Zoomer memes that I don't get.
What? And why? How come these atheists look so unhappy?
He wasn't an atheist. He can't be. Or even if he is, he's just joking. It's... If God really exists, then this video wouldn't. Video closes.
Like, how can you infer that he is an atheist from that fact? That's true. And also, if we let's get a still screen of Craven and then just go, why are Christians always not very happy? Is that how this is done?
How is he determined that this guy's an atheist? I would assume that was just a joke response to the thing.
This is so painful, man. Like, wow.
You know? You ever been to church? Has anybody ever been to church where people like greet each other? They're happy. They sit and talk. They have this kind of confidence. They come out of church. They feel great. And all these people.
I've been to church where it was fucking miserable.
Yeah,
so what does that tell you?
It's also like this is one of the problems with Christianity, and that is that listen, we're saved. We need to act like it. So any demons you have inside, bury those damn things. You are fine. Just put on a smile. And the worst case scenario is when they knock your door as like Jehovah's Witnesses, and you can see the pain in their eye. Like,
Also,
it's just.
Are you meant to smile when you're fighting against the dominant culture?
No.
No, not generally.
What is it? This is
when someone tells you that Christianity is love, and you've read all these horrible things about what God says is the case, like that woman did. You're not exactly going to be joyful about it, are you? Oh, isn't God a monster?
Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
in the Bible, he kills all these people. He commands genocides. Isn't this such a great time?
I tell you
You're not
what,
going to do that, are
I'm
you?
not very impressed with Claven. Like, it's unbelievable. I must say, it's so good to. I feel like William Lane Craig.
I can't keep the smile going that long.
So, no God, if you believe there is, they'll curse and everything like that. Seems like a bad deal, but go ahead.
Alternatively, just to prove the point, we have sat here for how long now, laughing our way along a bit as well. So
We're pretty happy.
We've been pretty happy.
We've been pretty happy. Yeah.
I mean, there's elements where we're like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, but you know, that's what. There's no yin without the yang. Reese,
No.
Okay, that's how we become happy. True happiness
of course.
requires sadness.
Jesus on the cross, I bet he was smiling the whole time.
Oh yeah, if he did smile, then
Yeah.
he wasn't. Yeah,
He
don't
wasn't
take
really
him seriously.
Christian.
Don't take him seriously when he's not.
If he wasn't smiling, he wasn't really Christian.
I'll tell you what, if I was a Roman and I was watching
You know what?
Jesus get nailed to that cross and he's smiling the whole time, I'm like, oh, you know what, I convert.
I feel like now is the prime time to play that Monty Python bit.
Always look on the right side of life.
So it says, God, when he sacrifices himself to himself to save mankind from himself, and everyone loves it, and he laughs. What can I say?
Well, something would be good.
So
Anything.
Honestly,
We'll take anything. at this
Honestly,
point.
we've
Imagine,
really struggled, haven't we? Yeah.
you haven't really given us a lot to work with. We are getting blood from a stone with this.
This is
because you've given nothing.
And also,
But
I mean,
so we'll have to do it for him, I suppose.
go on. Then, yeah.
So what was it? So Jesus sacrificed
God
himself,
sacrifices himself
to himself.
So first of all, how does that make sense? Because Jesus is God. Right?
Yeah. And it's not a sacrifice when you know that you're going to come back after a couple of
They
days.
count it as a sacrifice. I don't know why, but they do. Well, I do know why, but like it doesn't work. You're right. Sacrifice means you actually lose.
You're actually losing something, whereas he didn't lose a thing.
anything. So yeah, he ends up bringing himself down.
So sacrificed himself to himself.
He brings himself, at least in part, into Jesus, and then as Jesus, he manages to preach enough to get himself basically screwed
To a small community.
But even
in the
though
Middle
he gets
East.
screwed and it's out of his will, this still counts as a sacrifice, right? So he gets sacrificed to himself, and the reason he gets sacrificed to himself is to make it so that everyone else doesn't inherit the sin of a distant ancestor, because apparently inheriting sin
so
is a thing.
to save them from the punishment that he put in place.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when those two were actually in the garden,
And-
we had the situation where
And
they said...
this save, though, is only conditional on you also believing after the fact.
Yeah.
So it's not... He hasn't actually saved anyone then.
No.
You still need to believe it happened to be saved.
Yeah.
And it was only seen by a small community... in the Middle East.
No,
and the
500
rest of the world.
eyewitnesses.
Right.
That's what the
that's true.
one page says, right? That's how that works.
So we've got a not sacrifice to himself
Mm-hmm.
to save people from the punishment that he keeps in place.
Yes.
But it's not really saving them from it, because they'll get saved only if they do another thing later on. If they believe in the thing that he said does happen, that wasn't really seen by anyone provable. Right.
Let me just illustrate the generosity of God, okay? Like, listen, Reese.
I love letting things out like this. It never makes sense.
I have got you a house. I've sacrificed my worth
have?
to give you a house, yes.
You have? Wow.
And there's one catch.
Right.
You've got to pay for it.
How much?
The price of the house.
Oh.
If you just give up your entire autonomy to me and your faith in me and believe what I say, good things will come to you, but only after you die.
That's the other one. You will be rewarded, but I can only promise you this reward for a time that you can't see that it actually happens for anyone else.
It's like, it is the Nigerian prince thing, isn't it? It's like, no, it will turn up. It will turn up. Honestly, seriously, we took your grand, we invested it, we've got it. Like, you really helped us out. You will get your Nigerian gold. It's coming your way. We don't know when.
The patrons are going to start getting emails from God.
No, that's one of our tiers. You know what? Our Patreon will be updated. Okay, we're going to have the Nigerian Prince tier. God. Okay.
We're going to have the scam email tier, which will be God promising to reveal himself.
Yeah.
if you pay him a certain amount of money, and he'll do it after you die. Yeah?
Yes, I like that.
No. You'll be able to see the post after you unsubscribe. But of course, once you've unsubscribed, you can't see anything. So that's how we're going to do it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's scam email. That I'm going to put that in there later.
These guys are just too smart for me. They're just too brainy. They just see too much into the absurdity.
Have you seen Megamind?
I haven't.
Excellent film, by the way, guys. Watch Megamind.
Of faith, the faith that taught them everything they know, the faith that actually is the bottom foundation of all their morality, and all the things they blame God for are actually things that they learned from Christianity, from one faith.
Lies!
Just wrong.
And remember the thing about, this is the foundation of morality. So sacrifice, rape, genocide. So all of those things that we were describing about being a monster. So if you want to say that those were the Abrahamic faith were the foundation for those things happening in Western culture, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I mean, but it's changed in recent years, hasn't it? As atheists have become higher in number.
Do you know what? As the sort of religiosity has gone down and secularism has risen, sort of the ethics of a country have changed as well. It's interesting.
God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. And as you turn away from him, he gives you more. Yeah. Or not. Or does. We'll work it out.
Learn those things. That's why they're who they are. People are created by the culture they're in. Our culture is created by the religion we have. And that is the culture that has grown up out of Christianity. And they hate God because he's not living up to their idea that he got from God.
We hate God because he's not living up to our idea of God that we got from God. If we got our idea of what God should be from God, then God would be living up to it.
Yes. And
so, clearly, I didn't get the idea of God from that. I don't hate God because God doesn't exist. I hate that people believe he does because it allows them to do monstrous things because the Bible describes a monster.
Yep. Actually, you haven't really dealt with his argument that he gave. Do you want to hear his argument again? I'll remind you. Good game.
Yeah, he's got to master that fake laugh.
And they're so smart that they've outsmarted themselves out of all the joy and love and faith that you can get from believing in God. And that's too bad, but that doesn't mean we can't make fun of them.
Do you want me to put pictures of you in that talk that you had in that little round table when you were all hating that woman? Because you looked fucking miserable in that one, and you didn't say anything.
And he was like saying nothing. We'll get the same tune.
We'll get the same tune, and we'll talk about how Craven has lost all the light in his life. There we go.
Is that what we're calling him now, Craven?
Craven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Claven.
Yeah, well, he's just... You're the person that no one knows from the Daily Wire because you never say anything. And that's amazing because you're in the kingdom of the blind, bro, and you're still stumbling more than the others. Like, sad.
Feels like a Kevin. Let's go with Kevin.
You want to go? Okay, Kevin reacts.
That's what Jesus said. He said, make fun of your neighbor. Love God, but ridicule your neighbor.
What? He's jesting, isn't he? Love your neighbour. He interprets it as make fun of your neighbour.
Well, I did say it is about hating the foreigners.
Yeah, you were.
So I am right. I've got it down.
He's got to be joking. He's got to be joking.
Maybe I've got that wrong. I sometimes forget. All right, let's see another.
If I tell my wife, if you don't love me, I'm going to set you on fire, am I a loving, good husband?
If you set her on fire, then you never loved her to begin with.
And if God sends us to hell, he never loved us to begin with.
Nice one, Forrest.
Fair play, Forrest. Yep, it's true. And yeah, the people, especially Christians, don't seem to appreciate, even though they talk about Pascal's wager.
And obviously not all Christians believe in hell, but we're just talking
majority.
We're just talking a generalised.
Yeah. The idea of hell is meant to be so excruciating, so awful, that there is no amount of suffering on earth that even could hold a candle to the devastation that you're going to feel. And so in order for someone to be issued this kind of punishment, this kind of torture, this pain, this overwhelming disaster, what must they do to earn this? And just as everyone would go, listen, if someone says I love you and then sets them on fire, we would say that's terrible, even though it's a finite amount of time and then they die. God is, meant to be all loving and meant to care about you, and yet will burn you for eternity. It makes no sense.
Do you know what? Not even Hitler deserves eternal punishment.
Yeah, of course not.
No finite being.
Anyone that says that anyone deserves infinite punishment simply is wrong.
The morals are broken, yeah.
No, it's not just they're broken. They probably just don't understand the concept.
I said their morals are broken.
Or they just understand it.
Yeah. Anyone as bad as they are, I just can't see a situation where an infinity is an adequate sort of justice for it.
We're starting to sound like Christians, real Christians. We're showing compassion and love.
Showing compassion.
Yeah. We're the ones that would put the advert on at the beginning that made him very upset.
I'm not opposed to punishment. I'm opposed to torture.
Wrong.
Okay.
Well, first, God doesn't send us to hell. We send ourselves to hell. That's
right. If God created hell, he created a place where he knew people would end up. He's allowing us, put it another way then, he's allowing us to go to hell. He could stop it, but he's allowing us to go there.
Yep. It'd be like setting your basement on fire and then allowing your child to wander into it. Forever, by the way, forever.
You know the trolley problem?
Yeah.
Let's set up a trolley problem where there's 1,000 people on one train track and no one on the other.
Yeah.
And it's going towards the 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And you do nothing.
Yep.
That would be horrifically immoral not to do anything.
You set it up as well, and you go, you know what? They're all on this track, and I need them to get off the track, because I'm not going to change which route this goes down. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tell them clearly that I exist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them any signs that this
they're not even tied
legit.
to the track.
They're not tied to the track.
I'm just
There's
not
no
going to let
signs.
them
I'm going to make sure that the train's invisible. They're actually not on a visible track either. And I'm just going to have this go down. And you know what? They're not just going to get run over once. I'm God. What I'm going to do is make it so they get run over every single second for eternity. And I'm just not going to say anything.
I could get them out of the way.
I'm all loving.
I could get them out of the way. I really, really want them to get out of the way, but it is their fault if they're in front of it.
Yeah, and then they get crushed. All of these people get crushed, and you get some pillock of a Christian on the side. Not all Christians, this guy, going, God was respecting their free will.
I absolutely despise this. Oh, you're sending yourself there, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Also, take that situation with the wife that Forrest was bringing up, right? Husband sets her on fire and goes, she sent herself there.
Yeah, she set herself on fire.
Honestly, I didn't want to set her on fire.
She said no. She said no to sex, and so the only option was to set her on fire. That's now going to be my intro, isn't it?
Yes.
So the only option was to set her on fire, and that's her fault. She set herself on fire.
Brother, you preaching. It's true.
Fucking insanity.
It's true.
Absolute insanity.
That's the first thing. Secondly, I did set my wife on fire. She loved it. She thought that was great. Wow. These guys are they think they're so smart. It is fun, you know.
If we're to go by what we've seen in this video, they're all significantly smarter than you, because you failed to address anything. Think about what you've just done with that Forrest clip, for example, where he laid out, if you set your wife on fire, then you never loved your wife. Therefore, if God sends us to hell, he doesn't love us. And you went, you send yourself to hell, atheists are stupid. You haven't addressed it.
Nothing.
Oh, sorry, I missed a bit. He set his wife on fire and she liked it. And atheists are stupid. You haven't done anything. This is worthless, man.
Okay, who's worse then? Knowles or Claven?
Knowles is worse because he says stuff.
Fair. There's a fair point. You raise a fair point.
Claven's been worthless. Knowles is insufferable.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that's fair.
And Matt Powell is a hateful bigot.
Yeah, of course.
And Ray Comfort is a banana.
He's a banana.
Anything else?
Oh, by the way, we do know now, of course, we should have mentioned this last time, we do know that Ray Comfort is not Australian. We do apologise to everybody in Australia. I'm
I
sorry.
don't have to apologise. I never said anything.
I'm sorry, Keith.
He has to
He's
apologise.
yours. Ray Comfort is yours. Okay, you got to deal with that guy. You brought this man into existence.
The Aussies have Ken Ham.
Oh, you guys, I'm staying on this side of the earth. I'm staying on this side of the flat earth. I cannot handle this.
Just to say, by the way, nobody knows anything about hell or about heaven, really, except that one is good and one is not so good.
Jesus,
actually,
it's described.
The first part of what he said is right. Nobody knows anything about heaven or hell. Yes, we don't know anything about it because we can't demonstrate its existence.
Mm-hmm.
It, good or bad, is just a thing that we've applied to it, so we don't know whether that's true or not. So he's almost making a point. We'll let him continue.
No. I'm not giving him that. What are you on about? I mean, like,
he said we don't know anything.
Yeah, but
about heaven and hell. He's right. He's gonna make his point wrong in a second.
Fine.
Let's start with it.
Fine.
Like, he almost gets a point, and then we'll take the point away from him. Right?
Go on.
I don't even know. There's one theory that you basically, if you don't find the eternal part of yourself, you can't live. You know, it's just like if you don't go to the gym, you get flabby. You know, it's like that.
Okay, I've lost his point.
What is?
If you don't find the eternal part of yourself, you can't live.
This guy's brain is flabby. What are we watching, man?
What? Nobody knows heaven or hell exists, except for one's good, one's bad. And if you don't find the eternal part of yourself, you can't live. And that's like
not going to the gym,
not
so
going
you're
to the
flabby. And then this also
Problem
relates
is-
to the fact that he set his wife on fire.
The problem is a fewfold. I'm alive now. There is no eternal part of myself as far as I'm aware. So I am living without an eternal part of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I can prove that gyms exist.
That's true, that helps.
I can prove that regularly going to them tends to help with weight control.
Nah, it's all faith, mate. It's all faith.
Whereas we can't do either of these things with heaven and hell.
But you're sending yourself to hell.
I haven't sent myself to the gym.
Things have consequences. So we don't know anything about that. But he saw a picture once. Maybe he saw that Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol where the guy goes to hell. And that's what he's talking about. Who knows? What else you got?
They had to go back to like his childhood in like the 10s in order to get that.
I don't know when that one's out.
That was great.
God is evil. I've thought that since I was a child.
We had one more to show you, but as she started to say there was no God, she vanished.
Oh, wow. So clever. Much
my
memeage.
God. You know what?
Do you know what? I think that argument was so high IQ, he couldn't tackle it.
I think that's got me. That's it, man. I think I'm a Christian. But that was. You know what?
God made that video vanish. That's.
You know what? No. I think that's true. Okay. You know, like how some people seem to be. You know, they're not heterosexual. That's not true anymore. Actually, like that's got me there, man. Women.
They're not really
I don't believe anything that could ever question me for 5 days straight and die. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what. Seeing as he's obviously wrapping up the video there,
he is.
We shall too.
All right.
I'm very sorry that we didn't give you a whole lot of arguments to base on there.
That is not our fault.
I blame Kevin entirely.
Yeah, Kevin, you absolutely.
Sorry, Craven.
No, Kevin.
Claven. Dave.
Yeah.
Whatever
no
his
one knows
name
his
is.
Name. No one cares.
The guy who put a picture of himself on his own laptop. I blame him entirely for not giving us anything at all to work with. So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and let us know if you'd be interested in Reese's face on a sticker, okay? Because you could put them on cans of Coke, you could put them on Eton apples. Like, there's so many places that you could put these stickers. I love that idea. I love that idea. And you know what? We'll have his name spelt wrong on the outside. Okay?
And you remember,
good.
if you hate God, you have to stay subscribed, because once you unsubscribe, that's when God will reveal himself.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. Well done.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.